Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do this show every day, Monday to Friday, because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything else. And it's not much, guys. It's not much. Yesterday we did not have the Bitcoin Daily because I literally didn't know what to say. Even today, I don't know what to say, but it is still going, a little bit sideways over here. It is, 100% manipulated on the dollar sideways. We're gonna look at it, but we have the new moon, full moon, up today. It's the 7th of the March. Let's see if the new moon is on this charts right now. It's not yet on the charts. It's 1 hourly. It's not yet on the charts. The full moon is not yet on the charts, but it will be here somewhere, right? So will this pump us towards upside or downside? Who knows. That said, we are going sideways, but what are we gonna do in this Bitcoin Daily? We're gonna look at a little bit charts, and we're gonna see, and the fact that we are been going so far sideways right now gives me hope that we are gonna bounce, guys. If there is a dump, it will be spring towards upside, at least from what I can say. If we go, towards upside, it's already kind of, priced in. A move towards upside. So what's happening over here right now? We are going sideways until the hitting the resistance, and then maybe some kind of dump or immediate pump above that. So we're gonna talk about a little bit a couple of scenarios that can actually unfold, how this is actually gonna play out. But the fact that we are not just continuing dumping over here towards downside is actually very, very good for us. The price doesn't seem to be that bearish. The panic fear already settled down. At least one major resistance did break, and there might be another major resistance level up here, support level up here. If you draw it like this up here, right, don't forget this line up here. Of course, maybe this is the reason why we are right now, going a little bit sideways over here. Maybe we are just, hugging the support line. It might be that, I don't know. If you drop down, it might be a big drop, a small drop, but I don't think it's gonna be a big drop. I think it might be a big drop down to 21, something like that. Might be a lot of fear, panic selling, stuff like that. But we are still in some kind of channel over here, and until this channel actually is broken towards downside, over here, this support line on the channel, there is no big drop. So even if we drop down here, we might have a drop down to the support line, but I'm again looking for the bounce. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna look at the DXY, SP 500, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, Stonks, what's happening there. I'm gonna give you some kind of tips on trading on Bybit at the end. So there is that. Dimut, yo, what's up? How you doing, man? Linda, good morning from UK, Great Britain. Hello, Linda. How you doing? Mladen Petrov is in the chat. Larny Lou. There are more girls in the chat than guys. What's happening? XRP Legend, good morning. What's up? Prison. When Moon TLA? Maybe soon. We're gonna see. First dump, I think. Edward Too Good morning. How you doing, man? Good morning. Bart Simpson is bullish. Yeah, so people are talking that we might get inverted Bart pattern over here. I don't know, I don't draw inverted Bart pattern over here towards upside. It might happen. The Bart pattern might happen. I'm not saying it cannot happen. It was a lot more common in 2018, 19, 17, 18, 19, because we had BitMEX, and BitMEX were notorious for these Barts up and down, getting everybody liquidated and stuff like that. So much manipulations from the BitMEX exchange. Rothstein Army, how you doing, man? So there is that. There's not a lot of people in the chat. I'm guessing people are bored by the price action. So there is that. And you can see here every single these consolidation phases, they do tend to have more volatility than what we are having right now over here. So question is, will this break down over here towards downside? Will it go down? How is this gonna play out? Now, if you go to the daily time frame over here, of course we got our channel, and the channel is a little bit tricky to draw, but I would assume it goes something like this over here, maybe something like this over here. Where was it? This is the channel. So even if you drop down below the support line over here, we are still again looking at some kind of 21k levels right below these lows over here, maybe into some kind of lows over here. but we are still not falling out of the channel. Now, falling out of the channel is capitulation phase, so we are not there yet. So we can definitely do this move up here, you know, some kind of 20k, but we are not dropping, you know, just yet down to, you know, whatever this 15k or something like that. Yes, we are moving down. Yes, we are moving down in the channel, but we are not, you know, having this capitulation event or a panic event or a fear event or anything like that. Now, also this move up here, went down to the target up here somewhere. The target is actually a lot lower. If you look at this on the daily time frame, the target for this bear flag is actually quite a lot lower, I think. Let's see up here, from the top up here, down here, might be something like that, you know, over here at 21. So if you do drop down, back down to, you know, these levels, you know, that might be the target for the bear flag, because we drew this bear flag, something like this over here. I think we drew it on the 4-hourly time frame. 4-hourly time frame, and there was a bear flag up here. Let me try to draw it again, because I forgot how we drew it last time. Might be something like this, right? So we have been watching at this, you know, bear flag over here, and we said the first target up here is down here because of the pull that starts from over here. So if you know, pull some kind of line up there from top to the bottom down here, you'll see that, you know, that's the first target. So we hit the first target of the on the bear flag. Now the big question is, will this secondary target actually be in play? Because if the secondary target is in play, we are looking at something like, you know, 21k or something like that down here, right? So we are looking at some kind of move up here, and then, you know, all the way down, you know, to these levels, 21k, give or take. Now, if that happens, we are still in the channel, and the bear flag has played out, right? So if that does happen, it does look likely it might happen. We are still technically in the channel. Still technically no problems. Still technically, yeah, we are having a, you know, pullback. Pullbacks are normal, and so forth, so forth. So, but if we do get this big dump down here, you know, there might be again a lot of panic selling and stuff like that. What we do not want to do is dump down here and outside of the channel over here and do some bloodies over here, and then, you know, continue towards downside. Now this would be bad. So as long as we are in channel, all good, all dandy, no problem. This bear flag is still playing out, whether it's done or not, because the first target on the bear flag up here, it's already done. And the reason I'm saying the first target is because I've been looking at other bear flags before, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, when I see a bear flag, something, you know, price goes something like this up here, price goes something like this, goes into some kind of bear flag. I've been looking at these bear flags, and oftentimes these first, you know, these from the first pullback to the flag, that's the actual flag. And oftentimes price comes up here and does something like that. So oftentimes this is the first target. That's why I'm saying this up here is very important. But I'm a little bit unsure whether it goes, you know, the full length of the move. So, you know, there are actually two moves up here. This is the first. This is the second move up here. So the you know, bear flag goes from the second you know, pivot up here down to the next one, at least from my experience. And after that, you know, I'm a little bit unsure whether this actually continues. Sometimes it does, but the first move is pretty much, you know, given on the bear flag. Tila, pull the fib. You know, you pull the fib, man. You go, you know, you go to your room and pull the fibs, man. We're not pulling any no fibs. So this move down here, if it does happen, and right now we are sitting on the support level over here, we are still in the channel, and we can definitely bounce off it. The other, of course, the more bullish scenario is move towards upside up here, right? The more bullish scenario is to move towards upside over here, and that can definitely happen. Although, and you can see here the midline up here, we are above the midline again. Although this move up here can happen, you gotta also understand that the move towards downside is a lot likely. Oftentimes, before the big moves towards the upside, you always have some kind of, you know, spring, some kind of move down, some kind of panic fear, some kind of dump, where there will come in some kind of you know, volume, and once that volume kicks in, then the price, you know, reverses hardly towards the upside, and then explodes towards the upside. The other bullish thing that we are having right now, number one, we are in a bullish trend on the weekly time frame. So this downtrend over here has more likely chance to break towards the upside than actually towards the downside. So the downtrend has more likely chance to break towards the upside and downside by default. And if we are in some kind of bull trend in a weekly time frame, which I believe we are, this should break towards upside. The only question is whether we are gonna go from over here right up here towards upside by holding this line, and we've been holding this line for a long time, towards upside, or are we gonna have a little bit dump first over here towards downside and then go towards upside. I still don't see any kind of big moves towards downside because we haven't broken the support line. Once this, you know, channel support line gets broken towards downside, first then we can start talking about some kind of lower numbers. First then we can start talking about some kind of lower numbers. So I'm not quite there yet. There is another line up here on the chart that are very, very nice. And if you go to the daily time frame, what you're gonna see here, first of all, we got this, you know, top wicks up here, and we got this, you know, previous stop up here, and we got these very nice, you know, bottoms down here. So this actually creates some kind of falling wedge. Now falling wedge is also very, very bullish, and we can adjust this falling wedge a little bit up here. We can actually use this line up here. We can use maybe these lines down here. We can adjust the falling wedge a little bit up here, right? Maybe some kind of this up here. This looks like a falling wedge to me. I don't know what it looks like to you, but it does look like to me. Now it's not a very, very steep falling wedge that has, you know, huge chance to break out, but you know, it does have, you know, a slight chance to break up. So even if we fall down outside the falling wedge down here on the downside, which might actually be quite nice, not quite nice, but you know, quite normal thing to do. If you do fall out of the falling wedge, oftentimes these are fake outs that, you know, turn around and go right back in the up again. So you might be thinking, oh, there is a support, we are not going to go out of support. Yes, oftentimes you go out of the support levels or out of the resistance levels before you return, you know, bull trap, bear traps, right? So you might go into some kind of bear trap down here out of the falling wedge, then bounce back up here and towards the upside. So how do we know that this is going to be a bear trap if it does fall down? Well, once this trend line over here breaks towards downside, there should be very, very steep dump. If you go down and you don't see that steep dump towards downside, if you see price holding well, if you see price creating some kind of, you know, support levels down here, if you see some kind of buying coming in, that's more than likely that this is gonna be a bear trap and it's gonna break towards upside, because this is a downtrending support line, and once you break downtrending support line, you need, you know, oftentimes if there is no support levels up here, the price just, you know, starts dumping towards downside big time. So that's what I'm looking for. If we do break on downside, right now we saw there is a support line over here, there is a channel, there is a, you know, target down here. If you go down into channel, hit the target up here, there is a support holding, more than likely this is going to try a retest the support levels, and if it breaks towards upside, the full moon is kicking in, and you know, we are going a lot higher than that. So at least that's what I'm looking for over here. Now, if you zoom in on this part up here, you can be a, you know, degenerate and go to the 5-minute time frame and try to figure out what's happening up here, when it's gonna break out, when it's gonna break down. So let's do that a little bit up here. And you know, there are so many wicks on the upside and downside, and how you draw this, you know, it might be a little bit different. This was the first line that we actually drew over here. It was a nice line, and then, you know, it comes question, where is the line? Like, could this be the channel up here? I definitely could. This is the very first channel that we drew. It's still inside this channel. There are of course a lot of other lines that are actually being broken. This one up here, there was a resistance line up here, got broken up here, right now holding that. So you know, it was holding the support line all the way into the channel, and right now it's holding the channel. So right now we are at the bottom of the channel. So if you believe this is gonna go towards upside, we are at some kind of bottom of the channel, right? Of course, this bottom line is not actually, you know, hitting these wicks very, very nicely, so we can adjust the line a little bit up here, you know. And I'm telling you, there is a lot of ways how this can actually be drawn. Maybe something like this over here, perhaps, right? I mean, it's still a channel. It's still a channel. So we are just slightly channeling towards upside up here, or upside up here, and although it does have a little bit more, you know, chance to break over here on the downside, you know, it's not that steep channel. Very steep channels have a huge chance to break down. The same thing, you know, channel towards downside has a huge chance to go up, but these, you know, sideways channel are slightly skewed towards upside or downside channel, you know, they can likely break towards upside and downside without actually many things happening. But we are on some kind of support level over here right now, and of course this might be also a different kind of a channel over here. Something like this over here, give or take, might be also a triangle up here, because you gotta understand, once we start going up here, we created these 2 pivot points up here with a huge volume, and these 2 pivot points are actually creating some kind of a triangle up here at the top, right? So we might be doing into this move up here before actually some kind of break towards downside or break back inside this, you know, channel again over here. That's it's gonna continue. Right, so we are looking right now the support level up here. Once this support actually breaks, we are looking for that bigger channel that we just talked about, and so forth, so forth. But you know, looking at small time frames, you know, it's sure way to get you wrecked. Sure way to get you wrecked. Could this be a bear flag as well, just like previous time, just a smaller bear flag? It could. Now let's draw our channel up here again. Sorry, our channel again. And let's see, look at this bear flag. And if this bear flag is empty, like this over here is some kind of top of the bear flag, the pole of the bear flag. So if this does break down, it does look like it might actually go, you know, out of the flag. If it does break down, and if this is actually a bear flag. Now the thing about to consider about when it comes to this bear flag over here is that the flag is, you know, a lot, you know, almost as big as the as the pole. The flag is almost as big as the pole. I mean, it worked you know, over here as well, but you know, so if you do the move again below the support line over here, that's gonna be bad. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to go below the support. Doesn't matter what kind of dump we have, doesn't matter what kind of move down here we have, if we have the move, because you know this is also very likely towards upside. But doesn't matter what kind of move towards downside we have, if we break the support level over here towards downside, that is bad. That's bad, especially if you know, break down here and then fail to get back in, because there might be, you know, try to get back up here again. And if that fails and does something like this over here towards downside, that might be, you know, catastrophic. And then we might be looking at some kind of 15, 16 levels or whatnot, right? Or whatnot. So it looks all nice and dandy. Weekly time frame. Let's look at a little bit on weekly time frame up here. Let's pop some moving averages on the line. What you're gonna see here, it's it doesn't look that bad. You know, there is no problem. We have broken the bigger trend up here still. Nothing changed. We have broken this trend over here, still nothing changed. We are still above 10-20 moving average, nothing changed. If you do fall down over here, you know, some kind of 200 moving average, 19 point something, you know, very important support level down here on the weekly time frame. Down here we also got a, you know, first support level at 20.9, very important level, and we got, I think we got this level down here at 21.8 as well. But right now we are still above this 10 moving average. We are getting squeezed by the 50 moving average, because this 50 moving average, you know, is squeezing us right now towards these moving average. So will the 50 continue squeezing us down? That's the big question. So getting above the 50 is a lot more important right now than getting above the 200 moving average, because if you get above the 50 up here, the likelihood to get above the 200 moving average is so huge. So huge. So I would say right now that, you know, the top up here, it's not that important, but the 50 moving average at around 23.5, that is the level to actually get above 23.5, give or take. You getting above the 50 moving average, that is very, very good for the price, and we would like that very, very much. Right now also the 50 moving average is around you know, below the 50 sorry, 25k. It does look good. Like, it could push us down over here a little bit more now, and then we break the 50 and then jump up here towards upside. Definitely can. And it's also, you know, a good probability for that to happen. We've been talking about the 2014 fractal that's happening, you know, while everybody else is talking about this Wyckoff pattern that it's gonna play out down to 15k again, 14k, whatnot, right? We haven't been looking at the fractal of the Wyckoff. We have been looking at fractal of the 2014 button, and in the 2014 play, that's that shows that, you know, we could dump here big towards downside, is still in play. As long as we are below the 50 moving average, this move down here is still in play. And if we do fall down over here and pull the 50 moving average towards us, I don't believe that we are gonna go down, you know, to 7k or something like that. But, you know, the 50 might actually fall down here. Then we break the 50, and then we have this, you know, huge move towards upside. 50 moving average is hugely important moving average on the weekly time frame. Let me remove everything up here. Right now, maybe one of the most important, you know, moving averages up here. You can see up here right now, once we went into the bear market up here, once we get up, came above the 50 moving average, we look good. Held the support. This was Corona dump up here, you know, so you can, you know, over here we tried to hold the 50 moving. This was Corona dump, so, you know, we went above the 50. And you can see that the 50 moving average held us over here, held us over here. We even tried to hold it over here, but only after we broke through the 50 moving average. We had a retest on the 50 moving average, and then it's been falling us down. Right now, this is a secondary retest on the 50 moving average towards downside. So can this continue pushing us towards downside? Definitely can. But once we are above the 50 moving average, that's gonna be the good times, right? So right now, the 50 moving average is the biggest resistance level that we can have on the charts. Right, it's not no longer 25k. Where is it? It's no longer 25k. It's 23.5. This is the biggest moving average. This is the biggest resistance right now for us. It's not up here at 24.2. It's not up here at 25.2. It's not up here at 23.7. It's not up here at 24.3 or up here at what was this? 25.2. It's neither of these levels. It is this one, 23.5, because once you're above 23.5, you're above the 50 moving average, and once you're above the 50 moving average, the good times, guys, good times, the big moves. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to the 50 moving average. Of course, you see here what happened in 2014. This is the fractal that we talked about, that right now it's playing out on the charts. And both the RSI and the MACD are also confirming that this is right now the move that's happening. We hit the 50 moving average, then you go down, you pull the 50 towards you, and then you get above, somewhere down here at the bottom of the, once 50 pulls back even lower, then you pull above it and go towards the upside. So this is the play that we are actually looking for. That's why we are in a little bit of fear that this can actually pull down to the previous bottoms, because right now the 50 moving average is pushing us towards downside. There is an RSI MACD also that's actually playing out exactly like right now, like 2014. But we won't go into that. Now, in 2018, it wasn't that way. We just had this move down here, on the 50 moving average to some kind of level up here. We went down into, capitulation phase, consolidation phase. We moved to the 50 moving average, consolidated, broke that, and continued towards the upside. Could this happen over here? Could this happen over here right now, that we just, go up to the 50, consolidate, break, and then go towards the upside? Definitely can. I'm not saying they cannot can. I just believe that the way this pattern up here plays out right now, it's almost exactly as 2014 pattern. Now, another important thing to notice is that these patterns, these fractals, don't play out, into the future forever and ever the same way. At one point, they break the pattern. At one point, something changes, and the fractal is no longer in play. But as long as the fractal is in play, we gotta follow the fractal. And right now, it is still in play while we are below the 50 moving average. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. So we are technically in an uptrend. We are, I would say that technically we are in an uptrend. Technically, weekly uptrend up here is technically still in play. The support is still over here holding very nicely. If you do dump down here towards downside, I'm hoping that that's gonna be a big spring towards upside. If we lose the spring, if we get out of the channel over here, guys, then maybe, just maybe, we might be going back down to 16k. Hopium is we just gonna go down to some kind of 18k or something like that up here, 18, 19k down here, and without actually going all the way to 16k. That might be the hopium. The reason for that is the one less dump. So if we start going towards downside here, if the channel breaks towards downside, if the big dump does happen, the thing that you have to know, people will be calling certain levels up here. People will be calling certain levels. Most bearish levels will be around here, maybe around 15 down here, right? Maybe even lower, right? You will see price going towards those levels, and then will suddenly stop for some reason, and everybody will still be saying, one less dump. Once they start saying one less dump, once they start saying one less dump, once they start calling for the one more move down, that's where the bottom is. It's not one more move down. It's when they start saying one more move down, because oftentimes these things don't happen. Price reverses and it's kind of game over for the bears. bears. So could this happen down here back down 16k? I definitely see it, but before we do that, we have this, you know, channel down here, falling wedge, whatever called, whatever you want, right? And we need to break this towards downside. There is a lot of over here. Once this is actually broken, we might try to find some kind of, you know, support levels up here where we are gonna bounce. But then the reality comes that, you know, these levels down here might actually be in play. The DXY, the dollar index, broke this rising wedge towards the downside over here, and right now it's sitting on the 20 moving average. It can pull down even down here to the support levels at 103 or something like that. But this breakdown pretty much played out. Now the DXY is still a little bit bullish. The DXY is still a little bit bullish. So if you do break down over here, you know, it could go a little bit more towards downside. But I'm a little bit unsure where it's gonna do this, because if it does this, you know, if it does this down here towards the support level, it looks very weak and it might actually continue towards downside. But right now it actually might bounce over here towards the upside over here. It might do another one of these moves up here and then bounce towards the upside up here again, because these levels at 105 and 106 are still in play. And the DXY, I don't think it's quite done yet with this move towards the upside. Now this was a 4-hourly rising wedge that pulls back down a little bit up here, and I believe this can actually go towards the upside even more. Now if that happens, the stock market will dump, Bitcoin will dump, everything will dump, and then we might hit some kind of bottom, right? So that is you know, the way we're seeing this. If you go a little bit bigger time frames up here, although we are hitting these you know, moving average up here, you know, getting above this 50 moving average, just like on the weekly time frame, getting above the 50 moving average up here will be actually quite bullish for the DXY. And if it does that, you know, who knows how high this can actually go if it breaks up the 50 moving average. But we are hitting this very important level of resistance right now. We already hit that at 105. Directly, I was thinking it's gonna go a little bit higher up here at 105.5 or something like that, but we already hit that. Is he gonna retest this for you know, another time before it, you know, fails towards downside? A little bit sketchy to talk about that. But the important thing to notice is that this move up here failed, but it might have another move towards the upside where we get this, you know, last dump and then get rejected and then goes towards downside. The S&P 500, you know, they are not correlated with Bitcoin right now, and they have actually been performing quite, you know, a lot better than Bitcoin. Let's go 2-day time frame up here. It's because, you know, it's not too big. Let's see weekly. We can talk about a weekly time frame. So we had this move down to the support level, bounced off the support level. So, you know, we are doing the zigzag up here, maybe a small dump here again before, but we are still above the support level. You know, on the week time frame, we are still above the support level, You know, even up here, we are above the support level, trying to climb the moving averages up here. So, you know, the stock market doesn't look that bad. It is hitting the support. It is trying to hold the support. So only thing we need right now is this, you know, big dump on DXY. So before the big dump on DXY happens, I do believe that there might be another pump on the DXY. So if DXY goes a little bit towards the upside, stock markets, you know, dumps down a little bit, and then it hits these major resistance level on DXY and goes into the other direction. The big question is whether the Bitcoin will actually follow the stock market and be inversely correlated with the dollar, because right now they are, you know, haven't been following actually each other that well. I see you're a believer in DXY again. Gort! No, I'm not believing in DXY, but people want to know. So we are looking at DXY correlated with the stock market. We are looking at the, but we really don't care. We already know what are, you know, what we need to be looking for. There is a channel up here. There is a channel. There is a dump that can happen up here that you know, that might break. If this you know, breaks out of channel towards downside, we're looking some kind of, you know, bigger dump, so forth, so forth. People want to know about DXY. Mia Drago Obrovic, hi my bearded friend, how you doing? You got a jackpot 200 moving average. Time frame, what kind of time frame? I don't see a catalyst for the dump, at least not yet. The catalyst will come. The double but I think somebody said that Powell is about to speak today. I don't know what he's gonna speak about, but they said that, you know, Powell is about to speak today. You added friendly. Of course I gotta add friendly. Like it fits. Hi my beard. Like I my beard. Beard what? Hi, my bearded friend. Power speech today going to move things more up and down. Yeah. So the power speech might do that. Some other numbers might. They always find a reason, you know, for something to move the markets. He's speaking in front of Congress. Ooh. You're my bearded friend, buddy. You'll see. I'll get manipulated 15k to liquidate longs. Yeah, so there is a lot of long position right now, so I do believe that, you know, move down to get everybody into the fear and panic might actually happen before the big move towards the upside. So, you know, there is nothing to be careful about. I know a lot of YouTubers, oh, be careful. Yeah, if you're trading, be careful. But the way I see it, the way my analysis work, this is still accumulation zone. I don't care whatever anybody else says. Whether this is the exact button, we believe that's exact button. Whether we're gonna do something like this over here or you know, down here, it's still the bottom. I really don't care. It's still accumulation phase. I really don't care what other people are saying. Be careful. Be careful for what? What am I gonna do? Start selling my spots down at 12k? I don't get it. What am I gonna do? You know? So it is the way I see it. It's accumulation phase. It goes down a little bit, it goes up a little. The target is 2025. First quarter, second quarter of 2025, give or take. That's the target. We are not basing our, you know, spot price on the price. We are basing our spot price on the date in the future when we're gonna sell. So eventually price moves up. You can be bearish for so long. You can go sideways for so long, but at one point the trend breaks. The trend is broken. Also, you gotta watch this line up here, of course, down here, you know, that's a 14k. But one more important line is this one up here, that's at, you know, 17k. Yeah, this is line. So a lot of people might think that we are gonna come, you know, down here. Or down here, right? So these are like 18.8. And down here at, you know, 16, something like that. But what if we do some stuff like this? You know, we go down here below it, you know, come up here or something like that up here. I don't know. Down here at 70 or something like that. And then people are saying, oh, just one more dump up here. And it just does this. All of these people that are waiting for this one last dump towards downside, they're gonna get so wrecked. They're gonna get so wrecked. But yeah, this line over here is important as well. Trend line support. Trendline support. Is there another one up here? Maybe something like this up here. 19. There is a whole bunch of support lines over here, guys. There is a whole bunch of support lines. There is a whole bunch of support lines over here, guys. So many support lines. Then there are trend lines over here. There's so much support. So much support. We need to do some, you know, literal magic Black Swan event to break all of this towards the downside. Friday, big day, job numbers getting target was made impossible to achieve. Yeah, so the pivot is happening. Today for the short pump, tomorrow for the big dump. Maybe that's gonna be, we didn't talk about that, but you know, maybe we have a, you know, fake pump and then dump. It is probable. And as you can see up here right now on the 4-hourly time frame, this move that was actually going a little bit towards downside just turned around, and right now it's still going sideways up here. The most boring price action ever. This is getting everybody wrecked. This price action, guys. This price action. Anyways, guys, that's you know a little bit about, you know, what I'm thinking about when it comes to, you know, the next moves, the next price action and stuff like that. So there is that. Yeah, now that Bitcoin is going sideways, I was like, what am I gonna trade? You know, I need to trade something on Bybit. Of course, Bybit heads. Trade me a Bybit. There is a link down below. But I was looking for something that's not following the Bitcoin, and I found 4 coins that are actually doing quite nicely up here. They have volatility. They are tradable up here. You know, this is TFX. This is CFX. It is volatile. It looks like it might go up. We're not gonna do TIA on these, but you know, it's CFX. It's MKR. It has the, you know, it's not following Bitcoin. It's uncorrelated Bitcoin up here, and they do have some nice moves. And EMX is the third coin that I've been following. Also has a very nice move. Although it is ranging right now over here, it looks like it might actually do some very nice move. It doesn't have this, you know, same kind of pattern that Bitcoin has. And GMX is the last one up here as well. So I've been looking at these, you know, coins, and they do, you know, they're not correlated with Bitcoin. So if there's something to be traded, you know, CFX, MKR, AMX, GMX on Bybit, these coins might actually have a little bit more volatility, a little bit, you know, nicer moves than other coins right now. So there is that. At least what I'm watching. Uno is up 8.2% today. Wow, these things are big. This on Qcoin. 39% moves. What the F is this, man? What the F is this? Uno re. I don't know. But every single pump is, you know, explosion. Friday big dump, drop numbers targets. Okay guys, that's me, that's what I had for today. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and we're gonna talk more about Bitcoin. Hopefully a little bit more interesting. Just remember, this is gonna, you know, whether this is this target up here or that target up here, you know, it might be a little bit, you know, tricky up here. Maybe this one up here. Yeah, this seems nicer up here. So maybe this line. So if you do go down here, it might look like a big dump. But we are not hitting the moving averages up here. It's not like the, you know, the moving averages up here are pushing us below the target yet. So, and the 50 moving average on the weekly. Take care guys, I'll see you around, bye bye.